Could this Jo Malone perfume bottle be even lovelier? I think so. Follow along as I make her over with some red roses. Hi friends, welcome. My name is Shayda Campbell, and on this channel we get creative together. Recently I treated myself to a little something special. We were in New York visiting my sister and brother-in-law and our 1-year-old nephew, and we did a little shopping, and I bought some perfume from Jo Malone. The Red Roses is a beautiful scent. I know rose isn't for everyone, but I love it, and I thought, I could make this better. I want to paint on this. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you what you'll need if you want to do something similar. So I'm using acrylic paints, and these are just like the super cheap, crafty acrylic paints that you get at a Hobby Lobby or Michael's or the dollar store even. And you don't need a lot of colors. If you're following along, you'll need dark green, a burgundy, a cream, or white. I'm using cream and white because I'm so extra. So simple supplies for a really beautiful project. In addition to those acrylic craft paints, you'll also want a palette. Use something old that you don't care about, water, and a couple small paint brushes. And for acrylics, I like a stiff nylon brush. And I think I'm using a number 2 there. And then we're just going to put a little spot of each color on the palette. You'll see when I squeeze it out of the tube, these craft paints are very liquidy. They're wonderfully easy to paint with and mix and work with. You're going to find them so easy. I've been using them since I was a little kid. These were my go-to when I was doing all kinds of like folk art stuff back in the 90s when I was like 10 years old. I like mixing up my own pinks. You can use these colors right out of the tube, but I think when you have a dark red or burgundy and a white, it allows you to mix this whole spectrum of light pinks and dark pinks, and they all kind of flow and work together, and that's really beautiful when you're painting roses. So I've got 3 variations of pink on my palette. I'm going to rinse my brush. I don't want to start painting with a gloopy, messy paintbrush. And then with a clean brush, I pick up a dark pink. I'm going to start on the side of the bottle, and we're going to paint some roses together. And I paint a rose by kind of just making this messy circle. Think of kind of painting a messy spiral. You can see how the rose starts to emerge just by the way you do those brush strokes. Remember, these are quite messy roses. And then I go around that messy spiral, that messy circle, and we just add these curving brush strokes, and those look like the outer petals that are falling away from the sort of the main rose. So it's quite messy and free, but it really works. And that's nowhere near done, but that's our kind of our layout. So messy spiral, messy circle, and then we add some large curving brush strokes around the outside, and we really get the look of that rose. You can also add some messy small circles. Those will look like smaller roses and rose buds. And then that's it for the layout of my flowers on that first side of the bottle. Now, the acrylics dry so quick. That first flower is already dry to the touch. I'm taking that nice dark pink, and I'm just adding another swirl at the center of those large flowers. I want the center of the rose where all those concentrated layers of petals are to look really dark. And then I need that to dry a bit, so I'm going to take my dark green and just make some messy little brush strokes, and those will be the leaves. I did decide that I kind of wanted to mix a little brown into my green. I just thought brown would darken it slightly and make it a little more earthy. I wanted a bit more of an earthy green. So I had some artist acrylics that I just mixed in there, but totally optional. You can work with whatever colors you have. Don't overthink it. Don't be like me. And then I started adding more leaves, and the leaves, just like with watercolors, I'm just doing like one messy brush stroke, just put down a brush mark and call it a leaf and leave it alone. This is all very free and very simple, and you don't want to get hung up on detail. Even though you're painting on something as beautiful as a perfume bottle, you still kind of want to keep that free, perfectly imperfect look. And if you like perfectly imperfect painting, as I do, you're going to love painting on glass. There's just something so free about it. You really see each brush stroke because the paint, it takes a few layers to build up an opacity. So it's kind of like watercolor, actually, using acrylics on glass, where you're getting these strange areas where some is really transparent and other parts aren't. And I think there's just so much beauty in that. You'll get some beautiful happy accidents of opacity if you're lucky. Okay, with our leaves done, we're going to take our lighter pink and we are going to create the center of each rose, and we'll do that by making this big C-shaped brush mark. You see the big C, and then I kind of just put a few little dots. That's the center, and then I go around and do 4 or 5 curving brush strokes on the outside with the light pink to show the petals, and you leave that darker pink or burgundy showing through. You know, these are very, very loose, very messy, just like my watercolors. Everything perfectly imperfect and very just quick and simple. It doesn't need to take a long time to be good and be beautiful. And so you can see I just kind of did some dotting of light pink on the buds, and I added another rosebud, and then I did want to darken some of these leaves. So now that they've had a chance to dry, I can go back in with some more green and do another layer, but I do want some to be a little bit transparent. And yeah, that's pretty much the idea. That's what we're going to do on all 4 sides of the perfume bottle. Some I'll paint, more roses than others, but this is the idea. Do you like it? I hope so. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and honestly, there's something so cool about painting on something that was kind of expensive. I think I'm making it better. I don't know. Comment below and let me know. Is this something you would do? Do you think it's crazy, or would you like one as a gift? I'm thinking of opening a few slots on my website. I'll list it in my shop. There might be 3 or 4 available to order. You could order the scent that you like and I will paint it. They would be Jo Malone. This would be kind of a luxury item, but it could be something fun that I could offer this fall heading into the Christmas season. So comment and let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. A piece of Shayda Campbell art on a perfume bottle. I think these are a lot of fun, and I love that you could actually order like the scent that you would like, because scent is quite particular. Now I am adding I decided to get crazy and go to the front of the bottle next, now that I had sort of practiced on one side. And on the front, I didn't want to overdo it. I just wanted to add like some larger flowers at the bottom and maybe a couple small roses up in the top corner, because this side of the bottle is really all about that label. And here you can see me following the same steps. I'm doing that big C curve in the center of the rose with the light pink on top of the burgundy that I had already laid out, and I'm allowing that darker red burgundy to show through, and that gives the look of many, many petals and the rose being a little bit more three-dimensional. And then I am placing lots and lots of little brush marks for multiple leaves, just a little mark of the brush, a little pressure of the brush on the bottle gives you a leaf shape. And then what I actually decided here was to rinse that brush, and I wanted to get an even smaller brush to help me with all the little branches and stems. So I am using like a super tiny little nylon brush. I'm going to grab some of that green, and I used the larger brush for all those leaves, making my marks. And now I can go in and just add these tiny little curving lines for the stems and branches. So that's another idea. If you're struggling to get the detail and you feel like you're messing up, just get a smaller brush. You want that precision, go smaller, especially when you're just starting out. And you can continue to layer on the flowers. You can continue to get lighter and lighter and build up these little curving brush strokes and lines, and it just looks so pretty, and it really does show the dimension of the rose and the shape of the rose. And the same thing goes for darker. Put a little bit of that dark color right at the center, and it just brings everything to life. I'm gonna let that dry. We're gonna step away and let those two sides dry. I wanna be sure that they are completely dry. I think I had lunch in there or something, so I just waited 25 minutes. And then I was like confident that I could turn the bottle around and place it on a painted side down. It looks so pretty through the glass. It looks so gorgeous. And I'm, okay, my head's in the way, so you can't even see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna just sort of go through this quickly because I've shown you what I wanted to show, which was just the idea of this, and then the process of painting some messy roses on glass. But I'm just following the same formula on the other side and then on the back, where I'm building up these roses in layers, starting with a darker color, adding in lots of leaves to frame the flowers really beautifully, and then kind of playing with the opacity, the difference in opacity that you get when painting on glass. I'm allowing these flowers to be a little more transparent on the outer parts and definitely more opaque in that dark center. So have fun with this. Painting on glass can be a challenge, but it's so beautiful. As I finish my perfume bottle, you'll notice I didn't put a lot of flowers on the back. I didn't want it to look cluttered when you kind of looked through from the front, because of course you can see through it. And so I just painted like a couple on the back and the front, frankly, for that matter, and then put lots on each side. So that was my design choice. I did have a couple that kind of flowed from one side to the other, just joined by some tiny leaves and stems, so that's a nice idea as well. You can see this one kind of connects a little bit. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I finished up by taking my small brush and just looking for anywhere where I needed another little stem or leaf, and then I was all done. This was just so much fun. I had this idea for a really long time, and it was something that I wanted to purchase for myself and share on the channel. Like I said, something very fun and cool and freeing about painting on something that's a little bit pricey and a little bit luxury. This was just fun, and I honestly think I made it better. So yeah, if you want to check out my shop, I do have merch available: t-shirts, tote bag, a very cool screen printed tote bag, all designed by me. And I'm thinking of adding to the shop a few tickets for maybe at most 5 of these. That would be coming later in the summer, heading into the fall. If it's something that you are interested in, comment below. Check out what I do have in the shop right now, and definitely hit that subscribe button, my friends. You can help this channel so much by simply subscribing. So thank you for doing that, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial. For now, you'll have to excuse me. I gotta go spritz myself with some perfume.